It was nice knowing you all.
That's what's going on here. Is that a bison or a buffalo? Bison. We got 17 bison here. Oh no. Oh.
Stampede.
Oh no.
Don't run, that makes it worse.
In a pond, that kind of is the #1 rule. You always have to have a wacky worm. It doesn't matter if it's pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn, summertime, winter, fall, have a wacky worm. Biggin. Biggin. Yes, real big one.
What's going on, folks? Welcome back to 200 Ponds. My goal with this series is that you guys become better pond anglers as I fish not 100, but 200 different ponds. And as you can tell, it's windy. We've got a lot going on today. We're fishing 2 different ponds, both, Taylor, show them the water clarity. Absolutely mud, dirt ponds. But you know what? A lot of you guys out there, you fish farm ponds like this. So do they have giants in them? I have no idea. But one thing I do know is this entire series is brought to you by Evolution Fishing. This here is a largemouth 3.0 bag. It has some awesome features that you're seeing on the screen right here. I actually filmed the commercial for this thing, and I wear this bag in every single video. It has all my tackle in it that I could need for practically any fishing situation. And they've also got a smaller sling pack that you've seen, I think, 2 ponds ago in this series, and a bigger bag that you can actually bring with you on the bass boat. Lots of different stuff going. What is, look, well, that's what's going on here. Is that a bison or a buffalo? Bison. We got 17 bison here. Okay, there's 30 of them. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh.
Stampede.
Oh no.
Don't run, that makes it worse.
All right, as I was saying, you can use code TRF2025 on Evolution to save 20% on your order. Big thanks to them. We're gonna try to get around the pond away from the bison, but you saw in the thumbnail, we have a guest, so get in here. Bassmaster Classic champion, multi-time MLF champion. He's won tournaments all around the globe, and he's much younger than he looks. It's Mr. Ott Defoe. No, wait.
Much younger than I look, so I look old.
No, you don't look old. He's accomplished more than his age suggests. That's what I was trying to say.
That's what you were getting at. But the first one is actually true too.
Okay.
So what I want to know, Tyler, is there any time you've been fishing in pond and worried about dying from a stampede?
I've never worried about, Taylor, show them that. I've never worried about, dude, they're doing circles. They're Harlem Globetrottering around each other.
Yeah, this is so we came here, Tyler's like, hey man, I'd love to film a 200 ponds episode. And I said, yeah, I've got a place. It's been a long time since I've been here. So I was never fearing for my life last time I was here.
But you know what, we might fish this one for just a second and get back to the other one. Technically 2 ponds, but today I make the rules. So me and Ott are gonna get down to pond number 117.
It.
Good luck.
Yes, sir. You too.
Ott and Parker are going to go on the bison side,
okay,
and me and Taylor are going to go on the clear side.
Okay. Well, it was nice knowing you all, and I hope that you enjoy the pond.
Yeah, we will. Okay. Now, like I said, it's super dirty water. We were filming this like the last day of March, and so the fish should be pre-spawn in this pond, but it's totally possible with how warm it's been and how dirty the water is. I talked about it in my pre-spawn masterclass video, that this type of pond is very susceptible to the weather changes that cause the spawn to happen. And so actually, you know what? I'm gonna go down and feel the water. Yeah, that's spawn temperatures. So the first lure I've got is the Outcast Tackle Jackpot Jig in green pumpkin, which again is not the best color for this type of water. I mean, it is absolute dirt clarity. I'm looking at like 3 inches of visibility, maybe. But we do have some timber on this edge of the pond that we're gonna fish real quick. I guess I'd like to know how deep it is in the middle. Probably the only area unbothered by the bison. I can't believe we're fishing ponds with a pond with bison. That's nutty.
Caught one yet?
No.
There used to be a piece of wood right over there.
Hey. Oh, look at this guy. I told him I was gonna throw a swim jig, and he ties one on.
I might have. And I didn't even know it was going to be this muddy. Parker's the only one that's got the bladed jig.
No, this is really muddy.
So I'm going to keep on moving now that some of the big boys and girls have left. I really want to get down there to that corner. Because that's one thing, if you look around a cattle pond or bison pond, a lot of places where they've been walking, especially recently, it kind of seems dangerous for a bass to live there, don't it?
Yep.
He might get trampled. So we're going to try to get, around. I would have to think that the far side would be the most productive.
I hope Ott doesn't get ran over. Now, by the time this episode drops, the uncut of Ott and I fishing for smallmouth in a jet boat in the river has also probably dropped, or will soon, on the Uncut Bass Fishing channel, my second YouTube channel. So go check it out. Whether or not that video is there, there's a few good ones for y'all to watch and enjoy. So I'll leave that one linked down below. But man, I just don't know if I need to be dragging something. I don't know if I need to be throwing a swim bait, or I've also got a square bill crankbait here, my new favorite color, which is this one right here. Look at that. Look at that KBD 1.5 Elite square bill color. Juicy. And Ott has not been here in a number of years, so who knows if there's actually any fish left in here the bison haven't stomped out. Yeah, my square bill's, no, it's not that deep. My square bill's hitting the bottom. Man, a muddy, shallow, dirty pond that's got bison in it. Ugh. We're not giving up though. Let's go in the woods. We're off to see the wizard. It is a little more clear. I mean, if they're spawning in there, they can't spawn on mud. They're gonna have to be spawning on the hardest thing they've got, and that is the roots of these trees that are in the water. And yeah, they're all dead, so these trees have been in the water for a long time. I'm gonna absolutely give the business to whatever fish bites first. I wanna get down there, but it's too... Gosh! There we go! Hey! That's what I'm talking about, brother. Okay.
Right on the bank?
Yeah, on the bank. I mean, he ate like 6 inches from the bank.
Yep, pretty good indication right there.
Look at that. That is the color bass you can expect to catch out of absolute mud water right there. And as crazy as the bass in this colored water at J.B. Thomas in West Texas are 15, 14, 13 pounds. But that one does ease my tensions a little bit.
You can see he's over there where, where the bison buffalo don't get to. They're not using that bank. I have to think that 90% of the bass in here are going to be. And even right through here, doesn't look like they've been in this too much. Got one! Right down the edge of the bank. On the swim jig, right down the side. There we go. Really white colored fish. You can see, that colored water. Don't get a lot of sun. Nice.
Okay. This is a teaching moment. If you're a good angler, it's not that you want to find out what other guys are doing, but you want to put together the clues in your head of why am I not catching him and he is. The first question was it on the bank? And I said, yes. He makes a cast with his bluegill colored swim jig right down the bank and catches one. So the good anglers are always trying to figure out what's going on so they can put the puzzle pieces together a little bit better. And right as Ott asked me that, he made the adjustment and caught a bass. Ooh, gosh. Sorry, Taylor. I had a bite. Oh. Nope, that's a no. I like my shoes the color they are. I'm gonna make short pitches. I don't think it matters how close we get to these fish. But that's one bite for me and one bite for him, doing the exact same thing, which is working a swim jig really, really shallow. Two fish that were the same size though, so it's possible they got stunned in here. In water like this, you usually have to be pretty accurate with your casts, and don't expect that if you cast here and then 5 feet over this way, that if a fish was in the middle, he was gonna come find your lure on either spot. I mean, you gotta make a lot of repetitive casts to these dirty water fish for them to actually eat it. They're probably not gonna chase it down like a smallmouth would on a shallow, clear flat. I don't think the fish in Kevin Van Dam's pond that I fished would act even close to how these fish are acting here. A jig is 5 feet from their face and they would eat it.
And that's another thing too, I've seen it over and over in ponds where I mean, this water's muddy, but that those fish are aware of your bait. But you got to get it close to them. Their strike zone oftentimes, it feels like, is much smaller in a pond than it is in a lake. They're not going to move a great distance to come eat your bait. They're not going to run and chase a terribly great distance oftentimes. Warm as it is, I wouldn't think you're going. Got him? Spud on the board. Did you slow it down? Or did you about the same? Another little largemouth. Yeah, they're really, really light colored, aren't they? Yep. Nice, buddy.
Oh, Parker's got one. That one's too small.
Too small?
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Doesn't count, Parker. Parker said it does. He said ours was the same size.
All right.
Mine was at least twice as big. He says cap. He thinks it's pretty sus.
Who does Ott think he is?
What is this? He's got a school of them located. I'm gonna come in and poach him.
Wow, look at Parker go. I need to get farther down the bank. I'd love to catch one on a square bill. I feel like it's possible out here. How doity that water is. Okay, we got sludge down there on the bottom that the square bill is catching. So, and man, Parker's moving fast. All right, back to the swim jig. Actually, I'm gonna go swim bait. Something I've learned over the years is that in dirty water, can you catch them on natural green pumpkins? Yeah, you can, but oftentimes the fish, in order to find it, need like a silhouette, and whites and blacks work really well. Chartreuse is good too, but especially like a straight white or a straight black is really good in dirty, dirty water. Just gives them a better silhouette to find it. Yeah, they caught some fish for buffalo where I've just been trouncing around. So it's not like those fish were making beds right there.
But like a corner like this, so coming up here to the corner of the pond, you know, you see over there where Parker is now, like to fish this best, I mean, I could throw at it from this angle, but I'm really better off to get in here, you know, the angle, the bank and everything else to bring it in there a little bit, or, you know, kind of fish this side. It's all about angles, especially in my opinion, when you get to the back of a little corner like this, or when you get around kind of a little point of sorts. Biggin? Biggest one yet? Oh yeah, got him. Caught that one off that tree. Parker's covering water the fastest. That's the best one so far.
At this point, I think we need a Parker cam. Oh no, oh, oof. Swim bait stuck in the middle. Oh, there's a fence that goes across the whole thing. Eee, I didn't know that.
You won't have to swim far to get it.
I'm not swimming in this water.
You probably won't get many leeches on you.
I'm gonna get like malaria somehow if I get in this water, even though that's not how malaria works. There we go. All right, no more swim baits. That's okay, I wasn't gonna catch one on it anyways. Uh-oh, swim jig alert. Although it looks like Ott's been swimming his swim jig, so maybe I need to actually be swimming them, but I picked the wrong trailer. Macross fantastic for clear water. It's a little less vibey and more subtle, but you absolutely do not need subtle in this kind of water. All right, let's keep moving. They're not on the trees. Oh gosh, whoa. I'm so lucky that I didn't just get like straight barbed wire in my ankle. I must have landed right in between two of the strands. Dang.
Heidi.
How's it going?
Doing good, how are you doing?
Doing fine. This is the time of day these cattle come up here to get in the pond.
Okay, okay.
If you wouldn't mind, they need to get a drink.
Yeah, absolutely, okay. Would it be better to fish that other pond over there?
Thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you. We need to make a move, fellers.
Huh?
He said this is the time of day they like to be in here to get a drink, and for us to go fish the other one so they can be in here and getting a drink of water.
Oh, okay, okay. I'll meet y'all at the truck then. So I guess we gotta leave this pond. We're invading the buffaloes area. Not only did the settlers invade the buffaloes once, but twice. But I do wanna get a few more casts in this area because I'm not invading. This is not the buffalo space here.
Hello, moo cow. You're a biggin.
Yeah.
She's a little intimidating because she's just so large.
She's big.
She seems nice,
She's big though.
but she is very big.
Like, I wish I could tell y'all, like, oh, they're spawning, that's why they're up here shallow. With these bison in the water, I don't know if these bass ever get to spawn. They're never unmolested. Hopefully those of y'all who have access to farm ponds are liking this episode, because this is way different. Although not many of you have access to Octofo. But I hope you're also enjoying that. Okay, pond number 2 of the 117 pair. And the wind is not nearly as effective on this one. It's kind of down in a bowl, about 4 times the size, but water clarity looks only slightly better. I mean, maybe you're looking at 6 inches visibility. So I'm actually gonna change. I'm gonna keep the square bill on because I'm kind of in a square billy mood. But I'm gonna put on a different thing besides the swim jig. Get my favorite scissors. Gosh, cuts like butter. A vibrating jig. I hope I have a thunder cricket of that color, like a chartreusey white. I have this. It's not a thunder cricket, but it's close. I've got white ones. I've got my favorite bluegill color. I don't have one. I'll put it on the screen exactly which one I want to throw, and it's in Ott's garage right now, dang it. And I don't know what Ott's tying up, but we'll switch to Ott cam. Chatterbaits
are not allowed to be used in this pond.
Too bad, so sad.
So we moved ponds, and I'm making Parker be a team player. I had pretty much a rod for a swim jig, or, you know, like a chatterbait, 7-1 medium heavy with braid, but I'm really wanting to throw a square bill. Yeah, the rod I had was just way too much for a square bill, so, and I'm gonna have a spinnerbait just in case. Yeah, this pond here has a little more hard bottom in it, some rock and stuff, so that's why I wanted a crankbait. And it is pretty dirty, so something with some vibration.
Now let's test the water temperature in this one, and it's a little colder, but again, I still think it's pre-spawn time of year. Now in this pond with the bison that are not as attacking the shoreline, they're gonna spawn somewhere, and Taylor, zoom in underneath that tree over there. Obviously, there is rock in this body of water. So not every section of this muddy bank is going to be mud. There's going to be some sections that are rock, and that's where they're going to pre-spawn, spawn, and post-spawn for the most part, because they need to lay their eggs on hard bottom. So I'm going to fish relatively slow. Actually, I'm going to go first with a square bill because I want to catch them on that. But in literally 2 casts, I can already tell, even off the bank, is way too shallow for a 1.5. Let me make the cast this way. Yeah, it is far too shallow, even out there, for a 1.5. So I've got an idea. To a 1.5, basically a wake. Hardly dives any depth at all, depth maybe 1 foot. Bassmaster Classic Champion versus YouTuber. Oh, and look at that. We got some bait fish in the water. Cool. Maybe I should be throwing white then, huh? Oh wait, hold up, what am I doing? This bag has a rod holder. Huh. Oh yeah, baby, give me a bike, I'm riding to the pond. No way. First cast with the shallow crank, baby. Come on, come on. See, dredging the bottom was a little too much on the 1.5 normal, but on the super shallow one, we got him. And I can already tell they probably need to do some management to this pond, because if we catch a bunch this size, that's a telling factor. But let's go. 1-0, Ott.
Does that mean Parker was the champ from over there?
Oh yeah, Parker won the other pond.
If I'd have knew it was gonna be such a short duration over there, I might would have changed tactics.
No, Parker's the fastest.
You're a more patient pond fisherman, I can already see. I'm almost a steady walk. I'm about a half a mile an hour on the trolling motor.
It's funny you say that. I used to not be like this. On early morning plopper bite, I never stop walking. I'm just dredging the mud, even like halfway out there. But enough of what I have to say. Let's get a dirty water pro angler pro tip.
When you find a likely piece of cover to make multiple presentations at it, I'm not necessarily one of those people that's like, okay, you got to throw a crankbait on the outside and you got to throw a spinnerbait inside of it, and then you need to flip it. I might pick one bait, I might pick 2. You know, I might crank the outside of it, or, you know, throw a spinnerbait across it and then flip it. But it's not the part of necessarily fishing it with a lot of different baits, as it is so much so making a lot of presentations and really fishing that key piece of cover from a lot of different angles, because sometimes you'll just find that bringing it down this side of this limb is able to trigger that fish. That's oftentimes what I'm talking about. So lots and lots of casts at a likely piece of cover would be my best springtime muddy water tip. You know, when you're talking springtime, those fish could be in some stage of the spawn, whether they're actually locked on the bed or not, but some stage of the spawn and there's something there that they're kind of guarding or protecting can be what triggers that fish to actually bite.
Man, I think the big problem is that the water is so low. So like all these rocks here should be in the water. They should be spawning on this stuff, but it's not. Oh, and look, a nice brush. Actually, that's not a brush pile. That's a campfire. Do bass enjoy campfires? Do bass enjoy s'mores? How about a marshmallow scented lure? Maybe I should be dragging like a shaky head or something. Oh yeah, we got some rock here. Okay, I see what's going on. Wow, nothing. Quiet, come on now. I am disbelief. Oh, actually, I'm not even anywhere near done with this location. There's way more rock than I thought. Oh, and it's full of bait fish. Like as my vibrating jig is passing down this bank, it's just bait going. Like this is where they spawn right here, man. This is like natural rock. This was not put here for the pond. Natural slate stuff. They should be hanging around here this time of year. That was crazy. I ignited a feeding frenzy. There we go. Yes, sir. Indeed we do. Straight up big ones. Absolute lunkers. The other pond was better than this one is. This one's got cookie cutter 3/4 pounders. The pond that we're fishing tomorrow in the series, pond 118. This one might be a big one in that pond, so we're gonna have to go a little bit crazy with our guest. I'm not gonna say who it is. You might see it on social media on Instagram, but we have a fun guest coming in the next episode. Not that Ott's not fun, he's a lot of fun, but we got a really fun YouTuber guest. Yeah, there was more than one sitting there. Well, it pays on any pond or lake to be aware. Use your eye scope to know what's going on. Oh, that was a bite. That was a bite. I got 2 bites. to see if fish are actually visibly feeding. You can't always see that, but I could today. And I knew to make another cast there, and it resulted in a fish. I don't think we're gonna result in a 2-pounder today even, but we're having success. And that's all that I care about.
I think I might go back and get me a wacky worm just to try, because there's more fish in here than that. I'm gonna go get me a worm, Spud. There's gotta be a better way. So, got Spud and I both wacky worm here to try. We ready to wacky them.
All right, I don't think crankbait is gonna be the deal, even though it's worked twice, because we just did 1 loop around that side, I did a half loop around this side, and so we've kind of covered the banks. So I'm gonna go get a shaky head, and we'll see if we can finish out this episode and see if Ott maybe can catch one on a wacky.
We might, oh, I just had a bite. He bit half my worm off. I don't know if it was a bass.
Here's the deal, folks. I'm gonna do exactly what Ott talked about in the April lures video, which is for sure out by the time this video comes out. Honestly, it was probably out several weeks ago. And that is, I'm gonna throw a shaky head with a straight tail, a little Senko type of thing. This is a Mach stick, 4.75 inches. Yeah, it's very similar to the one I was fishing.
Kind of a little bulky, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I was good looking little worm.
That's my plan. When you hang with pros, you gotta soak in their knowledge. I mean, that looks juicy. Need to put my Yuri Sunshirt hood up. Infinite Outdoors hood. Check it out, linked below. It's my merch. And I also need, not sponsored, Lizard Lips, my favorite chapstick. That like JDM fluorocarbon, SPF 22. What a weird number.
Oh, there's a bite, look. What in the world? Did the same thing. Did the same thing. I had one bite half my worm off. Don't. I think it's crappie. It could be crappie. I think there's some of them in here. Across the plains of Texas. That was a bite. Look, he stole part of my worm again. I don't get this. They steal one end of one leg of my worm.
They're just in a silly, goofy mood. I'm gonna lie, this pond is great. Come on, a shaky head? Can't catch one and a red crank did. Hey, let's go to a third pond. This place is junk, and surprise, we have a third pond. So, pond 107C. Oh, sorry, 117C. Oh, odd cam.
Last 30 minutes of daylight in a pond.
Big one?
Got one finally on the wacky. Right down here where they were all schooled up earlier. This is where Tyler caught one schooling. Biggin. Got down here with the wacky and got us one. A little bit more color over here. Let's watch him swim.
All right, I only brought the shaky head to this pond. Kind of looks a little more fishy. We actually have shoreline vegetation, and the water clarity is maybe 10 inches this time. I'm just gonna keep assuming that the pattern's holding true on the other 2 ponds on the property, and that is that they're gonna be shallow on the bank. So I'm just gonna drag around the shaky head, see if anything bigger is in here. God bless the USA. If they're gonna be anywhere, they're gonna be in here. Big old lay down oak trees. Well, I wonder what they've been up to down there.
Yep. Think all the fish in here. Well, Tyler did catch one on that other end. But I think about all the rest of them are all down here. That one's actually a little fatter, ain't he? He's almost stunted looking. See how his back's all jack-legged? Got him.
Why does he look like that?
I don't know. He's a little healthier though.
Fatter than all.
Oh, come on. You sorry rascal.
They didn't even bite.
Oh, here's another bite.
Your worm.
It's so shallow out there, it's crazy. Well, that worm's gotta be just dragging on the bottom.
He's a little better.
Yeah, he's fairly chunky. They're definitely all schooled up down here in this end. Yeah, that fish is good and healthy. He's been eating good. It is funny too in a pond when you get in a place where they're at, how many you can catch really close together.
All right, if we don't catch a bass here, come on, man. I don't catch one in this brush pile, there ain't no bass in this pond. And the property owner told us this pond stinks, but I didn't trust him. Maybe I should have. Let's get out of here.
Oh, biggin.
Yeah.
Biggin.
Actually?
Yes. Real big one. Dude, I just threw it out there.
I got him.
Look at this. Look at that. Where did that come from?
There you go.
What in the world? I just threw it out there. Thought it was one of them bluegill bites or whatever it's been. And a nice one had my wacky worm. Look at that thing. Huh. Gonna let him go. It's a nice one. Best one we've seen in here for sure. Today, I've heard that there's some big ones in here. So random. And that's, you know, we come back over this way a little bit. Also kind of walking back towards the truck. Walking and fishing, fishing and walking.
Well, Otter, the other pond stunk. No, did you catch, I saw you caught a big one?
Yeah, pretty solid. Probably 2.5. Yeah, it's a solid
The gun show came out.
Sun's out, guns out, baby.
And the big ones came.
Yeah,
But,
that was, I mean, you had fished there, I had fished there. We were just walking back and I'm just throwing a wacky worm out in front of the boat.
Yeah.
And, you know, pick up and I'm just like, oh, there's one swimming off with it.
Yeah.
And pretty nice one.
You find out what's been biting your tails off?
Parker did catch a crappie,
Oh,
but
okay.
I truly think that it was more like a crawfish bite because it was a different bite than a fish bite.
I'm pretty sure I felt the same thing. The
Did
rod
you?
is between my legs and it was like, donk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably a crawfish or a prawn or
Yeah.
something.
To me, it felt like when you fish a tidal place and crabs bite your stuff. Very much what it felt like.
Very interesting.
So,
Well,
yeah.
thank y'all for joining. This was a wild episode to start and then to fish 3 ponds and to have a guest like Ott and Parker. Parker caught some fish on camera. So
Oh yeah, he caught some.
nice job. He won the first pond.
He did.
But they're not all going to be like this, although we're 117 ponds in, so y'all know that by now. But I'm excited that it was a fun episode. We caught some fish. We taught some, you know, spawn, dirty water type tips. And it shows that the Wacky Nico in a clear color can still work in super dirty water. Thank you all for watching Pond 117 of 200 Ponds. I'll leave all my tackle in the bag link below. His channel will be over his face right here, documenting not just the pro fishing journey on the Bass Pro Tour, but also general tips videos. He breaks down a lake. I haven't done a whole lot of map study on my channel. He does map study before every single tournament. So if you want to learn about studying a topographic map for a body of water that's relatively large, he does it on his channel. If you want to watch the last episode of 200 Ponds, it'll be over my face. Big thanks to Ott for joining the channel. I'm going to get on the road to Kentucky, and we'll see you guys at pond number 118.